Okay, so this is the poem. Reader of the treasure trove. Okay, so let's first and foremost look at the learning objectives, what we are supposed to get by the end of this lesson. So by the end of this lesson, student must, one, you must understand the poem. You should be able to understand the poem. Two, you should be able to do stanza by stanza analysis of the poem on your own. So by the end of the lesson, you should be able to pick the poem, do your own analysis, stanza by stanza by stanza. Three, you should also be able to bring out some literary devices that are very important. You should be able to, be able to pick out the literary devices. And then finally, you should be able to know how to answer questions correctly on this poem. Now, let me make it clear that in literature, you are supposed to write 6 essays in all. You are supposed to write 6 essays in all, and each essay goes for 25 marks. Now, so for instance, if you go to WASI or you go to the exams room and you meet a question on Radar of the Treasure Trove, which is an African poem by Lade Wusonu, who is, of course, an African. I'm sorry, I think I should have added that to the title of the poem, but I didn't. Lade Wusonu, who, of course, is a Ghanaian as well. Now, so, recording. Yeah, so you should know how to answer questions correctly on this poem. Are we okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll start with, please, just a minute. That's recording. Okay. Oh, you close them. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So now let's go to the next page, which is the poem itself. So there's the first stanza, the second one till the end. But then I would want us to look at the subject matter before we come back to the poem. I have some themes here as well, but let's look at the subject matter. Now, when we talk about subject matter, many times students are confused about the difference between the subject matter and themes. We know that the theme is a central idea or the main idea of, any literary piece of work, the main or the central idea. But the subject matter is, is what the poem is about, or that piece of work is about, basically. So the subject matter captures everything that we are looking for. So when we are looking at the subject matter of this poem, we are looking at what the poem is basically about. And so we'll be reading through what the poem is basically about. This poem, Radar of the Treasure Trove. Radar of the Treasure Trove. Now, so the subject matter, it says that the speaker in a pensive mood comes to the conclusion that one's most important and valuable dream or ambition in life should be to live a worthy or meaningful life. So the most important or valuable dream or ambition in life is for one to be able to live what? A worthy or meaningful life, to live a worthy or meaningful life. You see, now as we are on this earth, I believe that everybody has a dream. We have a dream. If you ask some, you have a dream to be a police, I have a dream to be a journalist, a dream to be a soldier, a nurse, a doctor, or what have you. Those are good dreams. But I see there's a dream that is valuable, that is most important than all those things. And that dream is to live a life worthy, or a life that is meaningful. Now, then the point suggests that joy, love, and compassion are treasures or gems of life that make life worthy. So the poet is suggesting, or the persona that is a speaking voice in the poem is suggesting that for one to live a life that is meaningful, for one to live a life that is valuable, one must have some treasures. And the first one is joy. Joy. Then we have love and what? Compassion. Now, I believe that we all know those three keywords: joy, joy, happiness, something that brings joy, something that brings happiness, excitement, joy. Now, if you are living and there is no joy in your life, you are as good as dead. Because everyone that is living obviously wants to live a life that is joyful. Let me put it that way. Or that's want to live let me put it like a happy life. Now, then love, like somebody say, love is an important feature of this life. If I talk about love, I'm not just talking about relationship love, boyfriend, girlfriend kind of love. But I see you should be able to show love towards one another, have love towards one another. Even though, yes, boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband. Okay, let me not use boyfriend, girlfriend. Husband, wife kind of love, or family love. Now, there are types of love anyway. That is not our focus, so I wouldn't want to go so much into that. We have what we call the agape love. That is the love of God, the love that God has towards every one of us. And of course, as Christians, we are admonished to have that kind of love. That is the agape love. There are other love, that the filial love, that is love between husband and wife. Erroneous love, that is, a wrong kind of love. That is love, towards the opposite sex, which is obviously not really the correct one. So our focus here is the correct love. The correct love is the agape love. Now, then again, we have compassion. Compassion, how to look at somebody and try to help the person, to have compassion on one another. Now, as Christians, I believe that all of us here are Christians. If you are here and you're not a Christian, please let me know so that I can reframe my sentence. But I believe that we are all Christians. And of course,
Yes.
we should have compassion for one another. Compassion. Now, so what is compassion? To have compassion on someone. Now, compassion means the human quality of understanding the suffering of others and wanting to do something about it. You see, the human quality of understanding the suffering of others. So it means that this poem is teaching us not to just be selfish, but to understand other people's plight, to understand other people's problem, to understand what other people are going through. So if as a human being, you're able to understand what other people are going through, and you're able to come down to their level to help them, it means that you're having compassion on them. So the poet is suggesting that joy, love, and compassion are the treasures. When we talk about treasure, a treasure, treasure is you know, something, treasure as wealth, riches, fortune, etc. So love, joy, and compassion are treasures of life. They are things that are, you know, they are the riches of life that we don't see with our eyes. But without those riches of life, your life is meaningless. If you as a human being, you don't have joy, you don't have love, you don't have compassion, you are not a correct human being. I'm sure you agree with me. You're a human being, you don't have joy.
Yes.
You don't have love. You don't have compassion. Then you are not a correct human being. So joy, love, and compassion are treasures or gems of life that make life worthy of living. Now, he therefore advises one to always strive. Now, why is the point saying that we should strive? You see, in order to have these things, one must strive, because joy doesn't just come, love doesn't just come. You must make the conscious effort to make sure that you have these treasures of life, because once you have these treasures of life, it makes your life meaningful. It makes your life meaningful. Now, he therefore advises one to always strive to have these treasures to be able to perform pleasant acts that bring joy to others. Now, it doesn't bring joy to you alone, but joy to others. If you have compassion on someone and the person is struggling and you're able to come to the aid of the person, what do? You realize at the end of the day, you put a smile on the face of the person. Now, once that person is happy, the person, it automatically, you're also happy. When you put a smile on the face of someone, it makes you happy as well. I've never seen anyone who put a smile on the face of someone else and that person is not happy himself. If you put a smile on the face of someone, you should be happy. I'm sure I'm making sense.
Yes.
I think that's, I feel not, okay, let's go on. Okay, so now, however, the poet or the persona is also known as the speaking voice. He goes on to remind one that rage is a raider, and that is the topic. Raider of what? The treasure trove. Rage, also known as anger or bitterness or whatever it is a raider. Now, when we say a raider, who is a raider? A raider is somebody who steals, a robber, a thief, somebody who can loot. So it says rage is a raider. Sorry, rage. Sorry. However, he goes on to remind one that rage is a raider or thief of such treasures of life, and it brings in its wake calamitous effect. Now, you see, one thing about anger, which is very funny, and because we are treating point, I'll take my time. Now, we are saying that rage, which is also known as anger, is a thief. Why? You see, sometimes, how many times have you done something out of anger, and then later on you ponder, you be like, why did I even do this then? Maybe you have finished insulting the person, you have slapped the person, or you said something, and then you realize that, oh, I shouldn't have done what I did, but you've already done it. Rage. Now, let me give you an example. We are all in the house, and I'm sure most of us might have heard this news. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was an issue that was all over the news about a landlord who killed his tenant. How many of us heard that? If you heard that, just nod your head. How many of us actually heard that? Good. Now, you see, this landlord had, I believe, it was just a very simple issue with a tenant, and as a result of rage, anger, he took a gun, went, shot the man. Now, what happened? The man is dead. I'm sure you'd have sat down and be like, I shouldn't have done what I did. But what happened? He has already done it. So you see, rage or the anger in him has deprived him of joy. He's not going to be happy for the rest of his life because he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. So one moment of anger, one moment of, bitterness or whatever it is, he took a gun, shot somebody, the person is dead. And you see, once the person dies, you can't bring the person back to life. So you see, rage is a thief. So anger has stolen his joy. Anger has stolen his love. And the compassion that he's supposed to have for him, for that person, he didn't have that compassion. Now you've killed the person. So the point is saying that rage is a raider or a thief of such treasures of life, and it brings in its wake calamitous effect. Now, when we talk about calamity is something which is, something, how do I put it? What should be the right word? When we talk about calamity, now who can give me any word that can replace calamity? Yes, calamity. Say again. Calamity. Disaster. Good. Distraction. Good. Distraction. Yes. Good. Any other word? Calamity. You be hearing this word.
Misunderstanding.
Catastrophe. I like that. Disaster. Tragedy. So calamity means an event resulting in great loss and misfortune. So if you allow rage to steal your love, your joy, and compassion, it will replace it with misfortune. Somebody says that if love does not teach you a lesson, disaster will teach you a lesson, because disaster teaches you a lesson that you don't even want. By the end of the day, you are being taught a lesson. It could be a bitter lesson, but you are being taught a lesson. But as human beings, or the poet advises us as human beings, we need to be able to work on our anger. So this is for you, this is for me as the one who is teaching you as well. Now, nonetheless, he seems to believe that man could arrest rage by being watchful of one's mind. You see, everything usually originates from the mind. Everything originates from the mind. Like the Bible even says that, out of the abundance of the heart, the mind speaketh. So from the mind to the heart, then the mouth begin to speak. If the mouth does not speak, you begin to act the actions. So everything that man does, everything that man will do, from from the heart, the mind, then you begin to implement it. And it's not supposed to be so. Now, we as individuals, we must be able to have control over our mind. If you're able to have control over your mind, it becomes easy for you to control every situation around you. Why is that? Somebody will be insulting you and you don't really bother, but you insult somebody else and they'll slap you. Yes, it happens. You insult somebody else and they will slap you. And somebody can be insulting from morning till evening. Why? The person is not able to have control over his mind or her mind. So as people who are learning this point, because now don't forget that even though we are learning this poem, it's just not for exams. We are learning poem because literature is an art. It teaches us, it mirrors society. So it is teaching us a lot of things. Of course, it entertains, mirrors life. It teaches us lessons. And so this poem is teaching us a very good lesson about rage, about anger. Now, the speaker concludes by asserting his personal resolve that he will live a worthy life wherever he finds himself, so as to attain heaven on earth. Now, you see, if you are the kind of person that people say things against you, people do all sort of things and you don't mind them. Now, the people will call you like you are a fool. You are this, you are that. But I see, it is better to be a fool than to react, and that will lead you into calamity. Did you get that?
Yeah.
It is better to be a fool than allow your bitterness, your anger to make you to do things that you shouldn't do. Because once your anger leads you to do something you're not supposed to do, don't forget, it will go against you. So as human beings, we should learn to control our anger. We should learn to what? Control our anger. So the speaker concludes by asserting his personal resolve that he will live a life worthy. Sorry, he will live a worthy life wherever he finds himself. So we are not supposed to just live this life just in our rooms, in our bedrooms, or whatever it is, but wherever we find ourselves, even in the classroom, at church, wherever we find yourself, you are supposed to be able to control your mind. Control your mind. Control your mind. So keep that in mind. Learn how to control your mind. Learn how to what? Control your mind. It is very important. Are we okay?
Yes.
Good. Now, then let's look at the title of the poem, Raider of the Treasure Trove. Now, with the explanation we've done so far, who can, attempt explaining the title of the poem? Who can attempt explaining the title of the poem? If you have any idea, just raise up your hand. Who can attempt explaining the title of the poem? Yes. Who can attempt explaining the title of the poem? Yes, Beauty.
Okay. You said that a raider is someone who steals or who is a thief, and
Okay.
treasure means variable things or something like that.
Okay.
That means the thief comes, who is the raider here, comes to steal the variable things in life.
Good. Good. Nice attempt. Who else will give us something else, something different? Marceline, I can see you. Shelga, any idea? Paula, Victor, Sabaita, yes. Any idea? Who can explain to us the meaning of the poem, Raider of the Treasure Trove? Now, trove means a store of valuable or delightful things. A store of valuable or delightful things. Trove, that is trove. You understand treasure, raider, you understand treasure, you understand trove. Now, so once you understand these three key words in the title of the poem, now explain to us, how do you understand the title of this poem? Yes, Paula.
I think the title, which is Reader of the Treasure Trove, it's just telling us about how our anger and negative thoughts can destroy valuable things in our life, or can take away the joy, the love, and the compassion that we have.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Who else will try? Sabaita, I can see you. Would you want to try?
No, sir.
Okay, Marceline. Marceline, are you with us? Marceline, are you with us? Victor. Okay, so let's go on. So, raider of the treasure trove, raider, to raid us of you know, the valuable things that we have in store, something that steals. And what is that thing we are saying is the rage. Rage steals the valuable things like love, like joy and compassion out of our lives. And once rage steals those things out of our life, it reduces us to nothing. It reduces us to nothing. Now, I'll say the story as we go on. There was a story of of a of one popular Ghanaian many years ago, many years ago, in the mid 1990s, and he, you know, there was a taxi driver that brought somebody to his house, and so they were arguing over the fare of the, you know, they were arguing over the fare. He got angry, like the recent story that happened. He got angry, went into his room, took a gun, came out, pop, pop, pop. He killed the taxi driver. He went to life imprisonment. You see, so you realize that that's you know, that's just that in the spare of the moment that he couldn't control his rage, he couldn't control his anger. He went into his room, took a gun, pop, pop. And you see, when you kill somebody, obviously you can't be free. You can't be walking on the streets of Accra or walking the streets of Ghana as a free man. You surely pay for it. So that rage stole his joy, his love, stole his compassion. All right. So I'm sure we understand the topic. So now let's go to stanza, the first stanza. Sorry. The first stanza. Now it says, but what can be worthy of your life? What dearer than the gems of your dreams? The reason you are here, always strive to fly flags of joy and sail up streams powered by the breeze of love. Your course charted in the ink of compassion, and fling roses wherever you pause, heaven or earth. So that is the first stanza. But what can be worthy of your life? But look at the use of the word but. But what can be worthy of your life? Now, in the first line, the persona or the speaker challenges the reader to consider what makes his or her life worthy or meaningful. So he asked a rhetorical question. What can be worthy of your life? But what can be worthy of your life? Now, then it goes on right from the beginning. You see, the reflective mood of the speaker carried by the reflective tone of the line is established by the rhetorical question. Now, there's a question, the rhetorical question, a question, and we know a rhetorical question is a question that does not demand an answer. Now, look at the use of the word but in starting the first line. Now, the but there, quote and unquote, suggests that all said and done, with all the personal ambitions of wealth and fame attained, one has to critically consider what really makes one's life worthy. Now, after everything you have achieved in this world, after the money, after the cars and the houses and everything, there is something that makes your life more worthy than all those things. So it says, but what can be worthy of your life? What dearer than the gems of your dreams? What dearer than the gems of your dream? Now, you see, there is nothing more important or valuable than the gems of your dream. Now, then the persona further describes the gems of your dreams as the reason why you are here. Now, the here there is referring to this earth. Now, it says, what dearer than the gems of your dream? The reason you are here, the here there is referring to what? This earth. This earth. What is dearer than the gems of your dream? Now, from that perspective, it seems the speaker does not use dreams to mean an attainment of a position or worth or accomplishment of some self-satisfying ambition. On the contrary, the dreams seem to mean simply one's purpose as a human here on this earth. The dream there is your purpose on this earth. What dearer than the dreams of your, what dearer than the gems of your dreams? And we are saying that the dreams there is looking at, the dreams there is referring to, the dreams there is referring to, you know, your purpose on this earth. Now listen, everybody has a purpose on this earth. I'm sure we all know that.
Yes.
Oops, sorry. Oh God. Forgive me. I don't know why I keep going back. Okay. Okay. Now, so saying that what dearer than the gems of your dream? The reason you are here, always strive to fly flags of joy and sail up streams. Now, look at flags of joy. I want you to note down these words. Flags of joy. Note down that flags of joy. I'll ask you a question on that. To fly flags of joy and sail up streams, powered by the breeze of love, then charted in the ink of what? Ink of compassion. Ink Sorry, I have to mute all of you. Please, can we go on? Ooh, yeah. Sorry, forgive me. You know, we are all new to this thing, so. Okay. Okay, so let's go on. Sorry, I had to mute all of you because there's so much noise coming from your background. Okay, forgive me. Okay. All right, let's go on. So we are saying that in line 2, the speaker suggests that there is nothing more important or valuable than the gems of your dream. Now, he further describes the gems of your dream as the reason why you are here. And we are saying that the here there means earth. The reason why you are on this earth. There is a purpose why you're on this earth. And what can be more important than the purpose why you're on this earth? Now, basically, I believe that the purpose why on this earth is to show love to one another, is to have joy, and to have compassion. That is the gems that the poem or the poet is referring to here. Now, let's go on. Now, it says, on the contrary, the dream seemed to mean simply one's purpose as a human on this earth. It is that purpose or reason that the reflective speaker described as being gems, and to which he finds nothing dearer, which means nothing dearer or nothing much more important. So the purpose of your life on this earth is what the persona refers to as nothing which is much more dearer than your stay on this earth. So he says that, but what can be worthy of your life? What dearer than the gems of your dream? The reason you are here. Now, let me just pause there and find out if we are all following what I'm doing. If you don't follow, you can ask a question now. Okay, let's go on. Now, to fly, then it says, always strive to fly flags of joy and sail up dreams. Fly flags of joy. Now, what literary device is there? As we are doing, let's gradually be going and be picking them one after the other. What literary device, if you have any idea, raise up your hand. Yes, fly flags, so flags of joy. All right, let me just go on. Now, so you see, the persona suggests that what makes one's life worthy is in reality the display of joy, love, and compassion. Now, then with the metaphor flags of joy, why? Flags, has been compared to joy without the use of us and like. So flags of joy as metaphor. The speaker creates the impression that true joy cannot be suppressed, and therefore it is readily seen by all. You see, when you take a flag, if you take a flag, okay, this is my flag. You take a flag, you are waving the flag. If you wave the flag, everybody can see the flag, right? Everybody can see the flag. Please, are we here?
Yes.
Now, everybody can fly, how do you call it? The flag. So it says that true joy is like a flag. So once the joy is there, everybody knows that you have joy. You can't hide it. Now, when you come to school, we have a flag in front of the school. When they mount the flag or they hoist the flag, everybody knows that this is a flag. A flag can be seen everywhere. So the speaker is saying that with a metaphor, flags of joy, quote and unquote, the speaker creates the impression that true joy cannot be suppressed, and therefore it is readily seen by all. So it says such joy has the ability to ignite joy in others who suggestively at the dock will be joyfully looking out for the ship's flag. Now, so your flag cannot be hidden. So once there's joy or you have joy, it is like a flag that has been hoisted that everybody can see. That everybody can see. So it says we should strive to have what? Always strive to fly flags. So as a human being, as a person, as who you are, as the one who is listening to me, as the one that is talking, we must always strive to what? Fly our flags of joy. Your joy is like a flag, or your joy has been compared to a flag without the use of us and like. Now, I know we all know what a metaphor is, comparison without the use of us and like. And flag has been compared to joy. Why? Because when you hoist a flag, it is seen by everybody. So the persona is saying that when you have joy, it should also be seen by everybody. Please, do you understand that? Do you understand that explanation of metaphor?
Yes.
Please, do you understand that?
Yes.
Good. Then he says to fly flags of joy and sail up streams, powered by the breeze of love. By the breeze of love. Now, again, with the metaphor breeze of love, the speaker creates the impression that love is the natural force. You see, breeze is, when many times you're in your room, hot afternoon or in the evening, and there's so much heat in the room, you come out, you say that you want to enjoy the cool breeze. Is that right? You want to enjoy the cool breeze. The cool breeze, the air, it's nature. It is not, the breeze is not sent by any human being. It is nature. So again, the metaphor, with a metaphor of breeze of love, the speaker creates the impression that love is the natural force. So love is a natural force that when it blows, when it goes, when you exhibit love, it helps other people's life as well. When you show love towards other people, when your love goes forth, towards other people, it changes their life as well. So love is the natural force that propels or moves one's life forward. So as human beings, or as who we are, or as individuals, we should be able to allow our love to go forth. Our love must go as what? As a breeze. When you're enjoying the breeze, outside, you have that kind of good feeling. And therefore, if you're exhibiting love towards other people, those people should have a good feeling. Please, are we okay? Those people should have a good feeling. Is that okay? Please, are we okay? Forgive me. Sorry. I've forgotten that you know what? Unmute yourselves. Please unmute yourselves.
Okay.
Unmute yourselves. Good. Unmute yourselves. But I just pray that your noise will not be too much to interrupt us. Just unmute yourselves. Okay. So we are talking about breeze of love. And I said that we are saying that is a metaphor. Why is it a metaphor? The breeze is being compared to love, or love being compared to breeze. Now, when you go out in the evening to enjoy cool breeze, it refreshes you. You enjoy it. Is that right? The same way, if you are demonstrating love, the person you are demonstrating the love towards must also enjoy the love you are demonstrating. So your love must go towards that person as a cool breeze. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Okay. So the speaker creates the impression that love is the natural force that propels or moves one's life forward, just as the breeze enables sailing. So, the persona compares this aspect of the poem to more or less like the ship that is on sea. The breeze, the air, the wind that blows propels. To propel means you help, to push. So as individuals, the love we demonstrate towards other people must also propel them, must also help them, must also support them. That is why love is being compared to a breeze that propels one, forward. Now, in other words, one ceases to live or progress should one fail to show love to others. So once you fail to show love to others, you cease. C-E-A-S-E. You cease, or you stop to live, because your love is like a breeze that propels other people. As much as it propels you, it propels other people as well. So once you fail to demonstrate love towards other people as an individual, you fail to live, or you fail to show love towards other people. Now, then again, with a metaphor, ink of compassion. Ink of compassion. Now, here, the speaker suggests that man's action on earth should be motivated by compassion for others. Your action on this earth should be motivated by compassion for others. Now, like we said earlier in the subject matter, if you don't have compassion for others, you are as good as dead, because every human being must have compassion for others. You must have compassion for people who are suffering. You must have compassion for people who are in need. Now, if you don't have compassion, I know there are people like that. Their friends could be in trouble, but they have no iota of compassion for them. But as individual, the poem, the poem, this poem we are treating now, that is Radar of the Treasure Trove, is teaching us to have compassion for one another. Compassion for what? One another. Have compassion for people. Have compassion for people who are struggling. Your joy must flow like, or must be hoisted like a flag. Your love must go forth as a breeze, and your compassion must be like an ink. You know, when I pour an ink, I don't know if you remember those days when we were in primary school. Those days, were small boys. When your pen, you call the pen has there's a word we use for it, and then the ink begins to come out. You realize that if the ink pours in your pocket, it begins to show outside. How many of us have seen that before or remember anything like that? If the ink in your pen pours on your uniform, if you pours in the pocket, you see that it shows outside.
Yes.
Have you ever experienced that before?
Yes. Yes.
Good. Okay. Now, so what happens is this: your compassion, if you show compassion towards others, it must come out. It must come out like the ink that you pour in the pocket, that it comes out for people to see. So if the ink pours in your pocket, everybody sees that there's an ink in your pocket. Please, are we here?
Yes.
Now, so let me pause here and ask, so far in the first stanza, okay, now let me just finish the first stanza. And fling roses wherever you pause. Your life must fling roses to cheer. You know, when you go to a marriage ceremony, we have the flower girl, usually with flowers in a small basket. And then the flower girl begins to share the flowers on the floor as the bride is coming. Is that not what happens?
Yes.
Aha. So whatever you are or whatever it is, your love, your compassion, your joy must be flinged wherever you pause. Now, I believe that the use of the word pause is just not to stand at one place, but wherever you find yourself, your love, your compassion, your joy must be flinged wherever you find yourself. And fling roses wherever you pause, heaven on earth, your destination. So it means that all that we are trying to achieve in the first stanza is to make sure that we make everything more or less like or we make life for other people, for ourselves and other people, like heaven on earth. Now, when we talk about heaven on earth, that kind of joy that you have, that we all want to have when we go to heaven on earth. The joy, the love, the compassion. Everybody knows that when you go to heaven, there is joy, there is love, there is compassion. So we want to create that atmosphere for ourselves while we are on this earth. Create for one another, creating it for a friend, creating it for a mother, creating it for a father, creating it for yourself, creating it for other people who may be in need, people who may not necessarily be your family members. We want to be able to create that kind of heaven on earth, for them as well, so that together we all live a happy life.
Okay.
So let me pause here now. If you have any questions so far on stanza 1, I don't want us to rush. If you have any question on stanza 1 and the explanations I've given, I'm sorry. You see, I can't give virtually every note I am talking about now. I wish I could, but I can't because of the PowerPoint presentation. If I want to do all those things, that would be so much. So if I've said something you don't understand, please just raise up your hand, ask. Let's discuss it as a class now. Sabaita, please, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you have any question, Victor, you haven't asked any question the whole day. If you have any question, please ask. If you don't understand something, please, that is why we are here. That's why I'm here. If you don't understand something, please ask. Let's feel free and ask. Feel free. I want us to understand this poem. This poem is so dear to me in that it teaches us a lot of lesson. A lot of lesson. Yola, please ask your question.
Sir, like my network was very bad, so I wasn't here from the beginning of the lesson.
Okay, so Yola, I'll go over quickly for you. Yes, Abaita.
Sir,
Yes, madam.
please, what if, sir, you said we should show love and compassion for others.
Yes, please.
What if that person does not deserve that love and compassion?
Okay.
Savita.
Savaita, I am a Christian, so I'll be inclined to go in a Christian direction because this point, even though it is a poem that we are studying, but it looks like it has a strong foundation and in a Christian background. You see, our Savior Jesus Christ taught us to love. In fact, he says we should even love, our neighbors. And he says we should also be good even to our enemies. And he says vengeance is good. So I know sometimes people hurt us, people do things that you feel like this person doesn't deserve my love, doesn't deserve my compassion. For instance, somebody has stabbed you at the back and the person is now in need. And you ask yourself, does this person really need it? Yes. Once that is what you are supposed to do, please just go ahead and do it. That's not easy, but just go ahead and do it.
Thank you, sir.
Have I made a point? Have I made myself clear? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
If you have any question, whatever it is, note it down. We are still treating this poem. I think our next meeting will be next week, Tuesday. Jot down your question. Next week, Tuesday, when we meet, we'll take the other stanzas and see how it goes. But of course, I wish that you all go and read over this poem. Please read over this poem over and over and over and over again for different understanding of this poem.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any comment, any suggestion, anything before we close for today? Sabaita, you're just nodding your head. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. God willing, next week Tuesday we'll continue with this poem. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you too.
Welcome.